Hey guys, welcome back. I know it's been a while since my last video, but I promised myself I would make sure to focus on what's most important to my artistic growth, even if that means skipping some videos here and there. While we have a little chat, I'll be showing two paintings in the background. On the left is a painting I did during a live stream with Rebel 5. The overall length of the live stream was about 3 hours, but that included stopping to answer questions and stopping to give demonstrations, even to, I'm pretty sure I actually did some paint over on one of the viewers' paintings. Now, if you're new to the channel, you'll know that I'm trying to learn Rebel 5. So a lot of this is like I'm making mistakes. I'm not being as efficient as I could, even if I wasn't answering questions. I'm still learning how to make the best use of this program and to learn the workflow. I was curious then what I could do in a program that I'm very familiar with. So I did the painting again, the same painting, in a little bit less than 2.5 hours, and I used Clip Studio Paint. So this is the painting on the right, and you'll notice even from the start that I used a different process. You could say that with Clip Studio I was just more free to just go, to just create. Whereas Rebel, I had to follow a more structured approach because I'm not very familiar with the program yet. I wish I had more time to finish the painting in Rebel. I actually really enjoy the beginning of this painting, where it's going, but I need to put in a lot more time. The Clip Studio version is clearly a more finished product at this point, once you get to the end of this. But my long-term goal is to master Rebel because I'm hoping that will help my future endeavor of becoming a master real media painter. But until then, onward we go to the topic at hand. Today we talk about artistic growth, and I figured this video is a great demonstration of artistic growth. See, I'm trying to push beyond my comfort zone, and I'm trying new things, programs and workflows that I'm not familiar with. Of course, I also did this live. That's probably not the best way to go about doing this, but you can see where on one I'm really struggling. Now, watching these two videos, clearly you can see in one of them I'm struggling a lot more. A lot of times this is what artistic growth can feel like, a struggle. And when you go through the struggle, you have to realize that you're not going to be the best that you've ever been. And it doesn't have to be learning a new program like I am here. You could be going from, mastery at graphite pencils. Maybe you grew up using mechanical pencils like I did and you're really good at them, and now you're trying to learn painting. Oh, the frustration, because you know what you want to paint, but it's just not turning out right. You have to take several steps back and lower your expectations a bit. It's okay to fail when you're trying to learn a new thing, to not hit your exquisitely perfect expectations. You have to allow yourself to learn, to fail, and to grow so that you can build yourself back up and master this new medium. But sometimes your artistic growth will feel like a breeze. You'll be making amazing art so great that sometimes you'll look at it afterward and you'll wonder how you did it, how great you are. You may even catch yourself wondering if you can do it again. That might even lead to, the other days where you'll be at your worst. Nothing works out. Every sketch is erased or thrown away. Your sketchbooks are closed and not looked at again. You feel like a failure. You don't want to show anyone what you've been working on. You wonder, can I do this? Am I even an artist? And you'll question your life choices. But this doesn't have to be you. If it is, please listen to the rest of this video. I'm here to give you some hope and possibly a new perspective. The first thing you need to do immediately is stop attaching your worth as a person to your artwork. No matter how bad you are or how good you are, it doesn't change your value as a person. You are valuable. So divorce your self-appreciation from your artwork. You can find lots of videos related to this idea, this concept, from people of all sorts of different beliefs. I prefer to go off the Bible. So that's what you get from me. Jesus died for us, not because of some special works we did, not because of how great we were at any task, or in some immeasurable excellence of some kind. No, he died for us because he loved us. Because we are valuable to him, regardless of our works. Of course, he does not want us to just stay as we were when he died for us. He wants us to become more like him, to become better than we were, because he knows we can. It's within our grasp. He wants us to come into the light and thrive. And I think that applies to artwork as well. We are valuable regardless. Win or fail, we are valuable. If you do an amazing painting that shocks the world, are you more valuable? No. You were already valuable. If you create a painting so bad, even your kid doesn't like it, are you less valuable? No. You are already valuable. And if we know that, if we accept that, then we can get out of our way and we can truly start to grow as an artist. As a side note, this also applies to how many likes you get on social media platforms, more or less. It doesn't change your value. I know this is a problem, and I used to get into this where I have to go back and check my social media every 10 minutes because I want to see, oh, how many likes is it getting? I need more. I need that dopamine hit. I need that addiction. No, it's bad. Divorce your self-appreciation from how many likes you're getting, from how many people praise your work. It's not about that. You may think it's easy to say all of this, but hard to do. And well, perhaps it is. But I also know it's possible. And if you want to be at your absolute best, then start working on it. It starts with belief that you can do this, belief that you're capable, belief that you are already valuable. And then you begin to grow, then you begin to walk that out. With that said, let's get out of our own way and work on the practical ways that we can improve our craft. The first thing to know is that artistic growth is not a constant upward path. You have up and down days. As you get better, you have more up days and less down. You may go through periods of little growth with sudden jumps in ability. Picture a staircase going upward with occasional small dips. So when you complete your paintings or your studies, you want to take a look at what you can improve. Sometimes you may know exactly what it is, and sometimes you may not know. And this is where having a mentor or mentors can really help. A skilled mentor can really help identify the biggest things holding you back. Or perhaps you can be part of a community and you'll get a bunch of different feedback, maybe from people that are just a step ahead of you, and they can help point out things that are holding you back, the biggest things. Try to identify something very specific that you can work on. Be specific and then focus on that. For example, maybe your figures are good, but your hands really suffer. Great. Do some deep study on hands. Try to level up that area and then go back to doing full figures again. Focus on small but attainable goals. It should be a challenge, but also a challenge you can achieve. It should be challenging enough that you can also fail. That's fine. If you never fail, you're probably not pushing hard enough. But you should not fail every time. You should be able to actually reach these goals. So as another practical question, how much should you study versus doing your own artwork? As a growing artist, I really like the idea of 50-50. This will change as you grow. Maybe you feel like you need to do 80% study and 20% your own work. Maybe as you get better, you can do 20% study and 80% your own work. Eventually, you will end up doing less study and more original artwork. But why 50-50? Shouldn't you just study all the time? Shouldn't you do 100% study and 0% your own work? Are you really worthy of doing your own work yet? Are you good enough? Are you ready? There's a reason you do original artwork, even as a beginner, even if you're not anywhere near where you want to be. First, this allows you to fully focus on studying for half the time, knowing that you can do your own stuff later. Second, it allows you to exercise your imagination. This is like a muscle, and you want it to grow. It also allows you to see where you are struggling, and then you can better direct your future study time. See, this is an issue when you study. Say you're trying to redraw something that you're looking at. It can look amazing. This gets to a problem where when you are studying, a lot of times you're copying other work, whether that's anatomy from an anatomy book or a pose from a photo, or you're trying to draw a face that you're looking at and so on. If your goal is to be able to do this from imagination, then you have to actually test that ability. You have to actually test that knowledge. If you want to have that knowledge in your head, you got to draw it from your head. If you're always looking at it from a photo or from some kind of reference, then you are going to be stuck doing that. And if you're happy with that, great. But if you actually want to master this and to be able to do your own original ideas, you have to exercise that part of your brain. It's like putting something into your own words, and that shows a true mastery over something. Not just repeating the verbiage back. Put it into your own words, your own thoughts, your own point of view, and express the same overall information. That's mastery. If you don't do that, you're not going to have complete mastery, and you're not going to be able to see where you're struggling. One thing I notice about doing this part of the work is that it feels like it's such a bigger struggle because it's hard. It's harder than doing the study. The study makes you feel like you're getting so much done. I mean, look, I did all these pictures and they all look amazing because they're just copies of someone else's work. And the work from imagination doesn't look anywhere near as good because it's a truer display of where you are as an artist at this time on that subject. And as a side note, if your studies are only copies of other people's work, you may not be studying correctly because you want to study in a way that allows you to truly understand what you're drawing. This gets back to some of our previous videos that we've done. I don't know off the top of my head. Maybe I'll try to link it if I can find it, but there are ways to study more effectively. Try to learn how to do that. Okay, getting back to our list. Third, if you do not exercise your imagination, you may be a skilled artist who has no ideas. I know I said this before, but I want to emphasize the point. Imagination is like a muscle and you must exercise it. It may even mean learning ways to be imaginative. I can't tell you how many times I have so many cool, amazing ideas, or I have a dream and I wake up and I'm just like, I'm blown away by this image. I'm like, this is so cool. I want to draw this. I want to paint this. And I realize I'm not good enough to paint it yet. I can't paint that yet. I know what's in my head, but I don't know how to get that on the page. Or I go and I look at a page, I'm ready to draw. I'm so filled with energy and excitement to draw something. And I'm looking at this blank page and my mind is as blank as the page. So it helps to find ways to be creative, to find ways to write down those little sparks of imagination that you get, because we all get them. Usually at times that you're not actually sitting there ready to draw. So you might want to keep a journal or keep an idea sketchbook where there's no pressure. There's not even a requirement to draw. You could even have a sketchbook where you write down ideas, or you scribble some undecipherable scribble and you write a few words to explain what's going on in order to jog your memory for later. And then when you sit down at the blank page, if you can't think of anything, you go back to your idea journal, get some ideas, and then you get to work. So another question I hear related to artistic growth is, how do you know if you're ready to be a pro? Well, the simplest answer is, are people willing to pay you a livable wage? Could you actually make a living as an artist? In that case, you're definitely pro. But there are other ways to compare. You can look at professionals to see how you compare. But if you do this, remember, divorce your self-worth from your artwork. If you are not at a professional level, that's okay. You can be honest with yourself. It's okay. Instead of looking at a professional and saying, oh, I can't do this. Look how great this person is. They're so amazing. You need to change that point of view to be, wow, that's so cool. I can't wait until I can do that. Because you know you're a person of value. You know that you're going to become a great artist. As long as you're doing the work, you can become a great artist. You have the potential inside of you. As long as you are willing to be humble but hungry. And why do I say that? What do I mean by that? Well, humble, it doesn't mean weak. Some people think humble means weak, and I think it's completely incorrect to say that. Humble means you have the strength of character to look at yourself and realize that you are not perfect, that you have things that you can work on to become better at whatever it is you're looking at. In terms of artwork, you can look and realize that you have room to grow. And hopefully you can look at the things that are the most pressing, the most impactful things that you can work on to become better. That's where you're humble. Hungry means then you go and actually do the work. You actually go, okay, I am really struggling with perspective. I'm going to go learn perspective. Focus in on just that for a little bit and get a little bit better. So when you look at a professional, you're not looking to see, can you possibly make it? You're looking at, are you at their level right now? That's it. And if you're not comfortable doing that, then don't. Keep comparing yourself to your own previous work and just keep finding ways to improve. Because eventually, if you keep doing this, if you keep looking at the biggest thing that can make an impact to your work, eventually people will notice, and eventually you'll be a professional. One thing you can do to help with this is don't throw away your old work. Just save it. Even if you hate it, save it, because sometimes artistic growth comes very slowly. Sometimes you don't notice. It's like when you have a kid and they're growing, and you don't know they're growing because you see them every day. And then all of a sudden you look at them and you go, you're a teenager. What happened? Who allowed you to do this? Who said you could do that overnight? But that also happens with our work. And sometimes you have to have something that will show you the difference and you can see the growth. If you're not seeing the growth, then you need to be really honest with yourself on what it is that can make the biggest impact to your growth. And it may just be go get a mentor who can help identify what you need to do to make the biggest impact to your work. Because something, if you're actually putting in the work, there is something you can do to make yourself better. And if you do, and you're saving your work, you will see growth over time. And eventually, you won't have to ask, when will I be a professional? You'll just be a professional. I feel it's almost cliche to say this, but maybe that's the better option anyways, is don't worry about when you'll be a professional. Just do the work, because you'll get there. You'll get there quicker if you're not worried or depressed by looking at other people's works. I know people can get very depressed by looking at other people's work and looking at their own work and saying, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to do it. So if that depresses you, don't do it. But I also know, because I'm one of these people, that I can look at someone else's work and say, oh my gosh, I can't wait till I can do that. You have to be honest with how you react. And if you're not ready to look at their work, then okay, just keep focusing on you and how you can get better. Another thing to keep in mind is that some people, some artists, may get to their goal before you. But there are also many stories of professional artists working today that were actually told to leave art school because they sucked back then. Now they are good. In fact, they could very well be better than the quote-unquote best students in their college classes. And why? How could that possibly be? Because they did not give up. They kept putting in that effort. Now, I'm not telling you to grind your eyes out until you burn out. You need to find a balance in your life. You need to find a balance of where you can enjoy your work and the pursuit of the artwork, but still have your life. Do not sacrifice your health or your family if you have one, but also do not sacrifice your work. I can't emphasize enough how important it is to have a community that you can be a part of. It can help motivate you, and you looking at their work and trying to help point out where they can grow can also help you. So join the community and encourage them. They'll encourage you back. Make sure to participate, give helpful critiques, and encouragement will come. If you want this, if you can be honest with where you are now and where you want to go, if you can enjoy the process, then you can do it. Do not give up. Do not stop until you've actually crossed that finish line. But remember that it's a journey. It isn't about the finish line. It's about the race. If you've enjoyed this talk and you'd like to hear more, then please comment below. I'd love to hear about your stories, and I'd love to be able to help answer any questions you have or take into account topics that are of interest to you. One last thing before we go. If you'd like to join a small but growing community, there are links in the description below. For now, we are gathering on Discord. It's possible that might change in the future, but for now, that is our home base. And otherwise, please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps. With that, take care, and God bless.